Obviously, there's plenty of matches coming up, plenty to look forward to. We've got Leyla Hirsch taking on Thunder Rosa. Winner of that is going to go on to face Britt Baker. So we got that match. We got Chris Jericho. He's got a few words for Eddie Kingston following that great match at Revolution, which I genuinely thought, I mean, it was a great way to open the show. It was maybe the best match on the show. I think every match on that show has an argument, maybe with the exception of the Jade Cargill match, but every match on that show has an argument for being the best. I felt a lot of them were around the same kind of ballpark. The Jade Cargill one was fine. She did a great frog splash, but probably wasn't the same level as some of the other offerings. But yeah, I thought that one had a real good shout of being the best match of the night. But yeah, we're going to hear from Jericho and Kingston. We've got Sammy Guevara defending his title against Scorpio Sky. And then we did get a little message come through about the fact that tonight we've got this one from Tony, Hangman Page against Dante Martin. So Hangman Page against Dante Martin for the AEW World Championship. That has been announced not that long ago. So very unusual to see a championship match just announced. Not much in the way of a build. And I don't know, I'm a bit torn on it. It's Tony Khan an hour ago. Is this Tony panicking? Like, I'm not too sure. It's really strange. Like, the thing with AEW is they do a great job of building up their championship matches, and they do a great job of making their like big title matches feel like big deals because we build towards them. It's not very AEW to just drop in a title match tonight. This is a very WWE thing to do. Just chuck a title match on. And like out of nowhere, we've got this announced an hour ago. I'll read you what it says. It says, following his amazing win in the main event of Revolution, fighting AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page, will defend the title versus the number 2 ranked Dante Martin, who's got a 7-1 singles record on AEW Dynamite tonight. See you on TBS. So there we go. That coming out an hour ago from Tony Khan. Since then, we've also had another announcement. We are going to be getting Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley with William Regal in their corner. They are taking on the Workhorsemen, which is J.D. Drake and Anthony Henry. Don't know who these are. I've never heard of the Workhorsemen before, but we've got the Workhorsemen taking on Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. So, yeah, that's been announced as well, and I think that's everything. As we said, you know, AEW Revolution was very good. It was a very good show. I gave it 7.5. I know some people were a little bit lower. Some people were a bit higher. Overall, I think everyone enjoyed the show. I saw very few people that didn't or hated it. So I think they did a really, really good job with it, to be honest. And for me, the William Regal moment was a proper OMG moment. Did not see that coming. So love that William Regal is in. And I do still have to buy his shirts. I said I would. I do still have to do that. I still haven't done that. But, yeah, there's a couple of William Regal shirts that are available. It would be easier for me if they sold them on Global AEW Shop, to be honest, rather than having to order from Pro Wrestling Tees, because I don't think they're available in the UK. So, I don't know. I do want to do it. Those shirts look great. So, yeah, definitely want to pick up some of those. Michael said, do you know it's been a month since I went to AEW, says Michael. I hope you had fun. Esteban said, Jeff Hardy tonight seems like a lock. Brian Plays Drums says, AEW is using too much blood. Daniel said there's a segment announced for AHFO meeting, which makes you think Jeff Hardy will be involved. Fightful have reported AEW have been working to license the Hardy Boys theme song. Well, I think it's the worst kept secret in wrestling that Jeff Hardy is coming in. I don't know if that's tonight. It absolutely could be. But as I said, I think it's probably the worst kept secret that he's on his way into AEW. So I don't want to say I'm expecting him tonight. I'm not expecting him. But if he does arrive, it's not going to be the biggest surprise. It's not going to be William Regal for me. Even though Jeff Hardy, you could argue, is a bigger star than William Regal. The shock of it won't be as great because William Regal I did not see coming. I did not hear any rumors. This one is pretty much locked in as what you lot are saying, but it will still be great to see him in AEW. And to be honest, I've just been so off with how they've used Matt Hardy. Like, I just think Matt Hardy is dull, boring, not entertaining, not a valuable asset. If he was gone from AEW, you could argue the show might be better. I think he actually makes AEW less enjoyable. And that's not me having a knock at Matt Hardy. I just think the way he's being used is not correct. I think there's so many things that you could do with Matt Hardy. The kind of way that he's presented just is not entertaining to me at all. So bringing in Jeff and putting them two together and, reforming one of the most iconic tag teams of all time, I think would not only be great for AEW bringing Jeff in, but it would be a better way to use Matt Hardy. So just positives absolutely everywhere. And it's a great boost for their tag division as well. And, the Hardy Boys are such a well-known name that, that's going to be great for advertising, marketing. And, that's... we saw the impact. We saw how much of a reaction they got at WrestleMania 33 when they rejoined WWE. So when they came in at WrestleMania 33, the pop was insane. So we know that, they are beloved. There's no doubt about that. So they will be a great addition again. I've got a new AEW Sting figure, the Luminary variant today. It's a Walmart exclusive. It's the half Sting, half Darby face paint. Very cool. I think I might have seen a picture of it online. I'm sure I dropped a like on it. So, very, very cool. There's some great AEW figures that they make. There's a few that are a bit off, but I have said this before. Mattel are exactly the same. So, but I think Jazzwares do a really good job overall. There's been some really, really impressive ones. With, Thunder Rosa one looks great that's coming out. That Brody Lee and -1 set has got to be one of the greatest sets I've ever seen of any Ranger figures ever. It is the youngest figure ever made, the youngest wrestling figure ever made, -1, which is a really fun fact. The youngest wrestling figure ever made. So there's no figures of young Dominic. Or no figures of that kid that Braun pulled out the crowd and won the tag titles with, Nicholas. There's no none of those, but they have done a -1 Jazzwares. So, yeah, really cool. They're doing some really great stuff. Jeff's 90 days ended last night at midnight. Fightful reported last week that he can't debut at Revolution, but he's slated to be at Dynamite where he can debut, says Daniel. Days, hope you are well. Edward, shout out to you. They should have retired in 2017, says Mark. Christian said, could WWE stop Jeff from debuting or going to AEW thanks to him announcing it early, as it seems like AEW tampered with WWE talent? Well, I don't know if they can stop it, but they can certainly take Jeff to court. I've seen a lot of talk about the fact that he could get in trouble for saying that because, as you said, technically the contract was still, You know, he was still under a contract. He was still being, he couldn't compete anywhere. The contract hadn't completed until the end of the non-compete. And so, obviously, he can't go anywhere else. But equally, it seems like you can't even talk to anyone else, or you can't have anything else set up. So they could explore that. But man, I mean, I feel like that would be petty. The only reason they might want to do it is so that it stops anyone else in the future. You know, it sends a message of, if you are going to talk to AEW whilst your non-compete is still active and we find out about it, then we will take you to court. So they might do it for that reason. But other than that, I mean, he was always, I think, going to go there. It's not a great surprise. And, you know, they're the ones that have got rid of him. I know that he's kind of technically forced his way out with the way it all came about. But even so, I think that would be very petty of him. My GM 2K22 is amazing, says to Boy. Esteban said the WrestleMania 33 pop was also due to the fact that it was unexpected. I saw them wrestle the Young Bucks the night before in Ring of Honor. Did you hear about people being upset with Young Bucks not selling much for Red Dragon? I haven't. No, I can't say I've heard anything. I can believe it. But I can't say that I've heard much. But then I don't spend long on Twitter. It's redundant, really. I mean, I get your thoughts. Do you know what I mean? I get that live reaction from you guys when we're watching a show. I don't need to go onto Twitter to see what other people are saying as well. So I don't really search that stuff out. Daniel said, did you see that today Miro signed a new 4-year deal with AEW? I think this Hangman title match is set up for his next challenger to confront him after his match, and Miro is set for a return now. Miro would make sense to me just because I don't see him as a top heel. I don't see him as a top talent. I wouldn't put him on the same level as a CM Punk, a Daniel Bryan, a Jericho. Miro is not that level to me. So you wouldn't do a program of him and Hangman at a pay-per-view unless you were really going to build Miro up and you were really going to try to make him a big star. You know, the people that are going to be going for the titles are going to be your Omegas. They're going to be, maybe, you know, they're building Sammy, of course, to get him to that level. His, you know, massive name is, you could argue there or thereabouts. They could do Hangman Sammy and they could make that a main event of a pay-per-view. I just don't feel like Miro is that level at the moment. He can get there. I just don't think he is there. So for me, Miro would make sense as a next challenger because he's a monster. He looks great. He's come from WWE. He's got good name recognition. I know he's not called Rusev, but people know who he is. And ticks a lot of boxes. He's not the biggest kind of star, if you will, because I just don't think he's been built up as that sort of monster. We haven't seen him for a little while. He can get there, but I think use him now. Good win for Hangman. He can win that feud, and then Hangman can go on to face Omega, MJF, CM Punk, whoever at the next pay-per-view, which I think is Double or Nothing. So yeah, that would make sense to me. Do you agree with me now that Benzema is the best player in the world? No. I think that Salah has been the best player in the world this season. I think that Salah is potentially, you know, had a bad game the other day. Obviously, Benzema's hit a hat-trick here, but just because of what we saw tonight, it wouldn't change my mind. I think Salah's clear of Benzema. Salah's been doing it in Champions League as well. He's been doing it, obviously, in the Premier League, top goal scorer there. He's been unplayable at times. I mean, for me, Benzema is one of the best players in the world. I'd never dispute that. But if we were to say who is the best, right now I think my vote would go with Salah for the season so far. But it really depends how this next period's going to go, because Salah had a bad game the other day. And if he's going to really go on like a decline and Benzema's going to keep doing performances like he's done, come the end of the season, then it could be very interesting. So, yeah, I'm still leaning towards Salah. WrestleBuzz says, speaking of Miro, do you think we'll ever see Lana join him in AEW? I hope so, to be honest. I love the dynamic of there being a monster and their manager is a female. Like, if that monster goes, like, out of control, I just love the dynamic of a female manager being able to calm them down and get through to them. Like, you know, you could have another big guy that, like, you know, tries to hold them and, you know, control them down or whatever. But I love the idea that, like, just a little woman can do it, and they don't listen to anyone else except her. And the same with Miro. You know, Miro is this monster that just destroys everything, and no one can stop him except Lana, little Lana, who he loves. Like, she can control him. And I thought their dynamic in WWE was great when they were together. You know, she would come down and she was so proud with presenting Miro, Rusev. And, you know, they went right to the top. It's no surprise to me that when Andrade had Zelina, went right to the top, you know. He was floundering a little bit in NXT. He was in NXT for a while without Zelina, and there was always something missing. They put Zelina with him, won the NXT Championship, great match against Johnny Gargano. All of a sudden, the package made sense, and he gets called up to the main roster. They then started messing around, putting, like, Angel Garza with them, and for me, it lost its focus. Like, we didn't need those two together. We didn't need Angel Garza and Andrade as a tag team. Like, Andrade could have been this incredible wrestler that Zelina was the manager of. She's a great talker, and we should have gone further with that, but we still got quite far with Andrade and Zelina as a pairing. We got far with Rusev and Lana as a pairing. I mean, they didn't get to the title, but did get to a high-profile WrestleMania match against John Cena. And they did really, really well together. So, yeah, I must admit, I don't really have any desire to see Lana wrestle. I'm not interested in her coming into the women's division. That's not what the women's division needs. But I think as a manager, she can do a job. And, yeah, I mean, it would just be a nice little extra for Rusev, a.k.a. Miro. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Who is your favorite AEW wrestler? I like Bryan Danielson, and I like Serena Deeb. I like those two. Do you think that WWE might try to hire ex-Ring of Honor wrestlers just to mess with AEW? I don't think that they will do that just for that reason. I think that they've just gone on a cost-cutting exercise. I think that Vince is going to have a look and see if there's anyone out there. I think they're always looking to see if there's anyone out there. And if there's anyone big out there that they think they could bring in that can do a job for them, then they will. I don't think they're just going to hire a load of Ring of Honor people for the sake of it. I think that they've just revamped NXT so that it is the bigger guys. So to flood it now with just Ring of Honor people just for the sake of it, it would go against all the work that they've just done. So I don't think they will go that way. Do you see Jeff debuting tonight? A lot of stuff seems to be pointing towards yes, doesn't it? So I'd have to say it's looking probably more likely. In fact, what we could do is we could put up a poll and see what people are thinking, if he's going to debut or not. Will Jeff Hardy debut tonight? Aaron, shout out to you, bud. Let's ask the community. I think that lag again. Little bit of lag. Little bit of lag. Hopefully the lag's gone. The lag came in as I was trying to put that poll up, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if the poll caused a problem. I don't know. Do I like Sammy Guevara? I do like Sammy Guevara. I think they did a great job of putting him in the inner circle and introducing him that way. Now he's kind of gone off on his own, and they've given him the mid-card belt. Nothing but love for that. And they're just building him. I mean, it's just building, isn't it? Bring him in. Have him around Jericho, have him involved in main events, give him some moments to shine. keep just building him up. Then when he goes out on his own, give him the mid-card belts, mid-card title, all that kind of stuff. And you just keep building. Eventually, when the time's right, he'll drop that. And then he can just take that final step up to the very top of the card. So, yeah, I don't mind Sammy too much. Like, what is he missing? I suppose I'd like to see some more promos from him. I mean, I know what he can do in the ring. I know that he is a great wrestler. I know he's had some great matches. His look is pretty good. He's a pretty good-looking guy. I think probably the girls like him. I think the guys appreciate the fact he's a good wrestler and appreciate the fact that he was in the inner circle and he's been around for a while. He's not just arrived. He's not a flash in the pan. He's one of the 4 pillars. There's probably a lot to really like about Sammy. So I think guys appreciate that. I think the girls appreciate that. Probably find him a bit cute as well. He's not a bad-looking bloke, is he? I don't know about his physique, to be honest. I don't know if he could hit the weights a little bit more. I'd have to have a look. Never really looked. I think he's okay. He doesn't really strike me as being super jacked. But I think he's definitely got a physique. It's not like he's got a horrible body or anything. So I think his looks all right. You can always probably improve it a bit more. His ring gear doesn't really stand out, so I'd probably have a look at his ring gear. See if there's any way that he could stand out a little bit more. If there's anything more we could do on that front. Love his entrance music. Babyface, so I don't think he needs a manager, but he is in a relationship with Ty Conti, and you might be able to get some out of that. Like, you know, you could make them like, you know, a couple that love each other, and, you know, people could root for them, and you might be able to get some out of that. If I was Tony, I'd be tempted to do a little at-home with Sammy and Ty Conti type thing. I know he's got his vlogs, but I might be tempted to do a few little vignettes that I might drop on the show, or I might drop onto YouTube, but just a way of getting across that he is a real guy, he's a nice guy, he's, you know, someone that you can get behind, and he's just a nice person. Not like, you know, Corey and Carmella, where they're trying to sell sex and they're trying to, like, sex it up and everything. Just make them down to earth, relatable, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think there's things that you can continue to do with Sammy, but by and large, I think we're in a good place. Do you think, I'm going to have to retype this poll, Jeff Hardy will debut tonight? Do you think Jeff Hardy will debut tonight? I tried to ask this question before, and it's hit a snag. Would you rather have Regal working for Ring of Honor over Tony Khan? Yeah, I don't think Tony should do both. He's going to be way too stretched. So I wouldn't have Tony do both. I think that would be quite a mistake. Apparently, rumors are that he wants to do both. And I just don't see why he would do that. I don't see how that would be beneficial at all. I think that he's quite stretched as it is at the moment. So, yeah, I wouldn't go that way. And we know that William Regal is amazing. So, William Regal is someone that has got ability to do that. I think that he could do that and then on the main show be a GM or be just that manager of Moxley and Danielson. So, yeah, Regal's plate at the moment seems to be quite empty. Let him do it. I don't mind if Tony wants to get everything checked past him first type of a thing, you know? Check with me first type of a thing before you do anything. And he just signs it off like Vince does. I don't mind that. But the actual booking of the show, Tony's got way too much on his plate as it is. He doesn't need to be doing Ring of Honor. Considering how wrestling has been lately, what are your top matches for 2022? Well, to be honest, someone said Hangman was this year against Danielson. If it is, that would be my top match. Let me just have a look. Hangman, Danielson. I prefer, and it might be controversial, but I prefer the second one. Oh, it is. Hangman against Danielson 2 was on the 6th of January. So for me, that would be my match of the year so far. I think that the first one, I've said this before, the first one, there's a couple of bits in it where you guys go to a commercial break. I still get to see what's happening, and there's a lot of lying around. And the match just kind of loses its momentum. And you guys probably didn't get to see that, but unfortunately with Fight TV, you do. And for me, it kind of disrupted the flow of the match. There's a bit where you lot go to commercial break. You've got, I think, Hangman on the outside, or Hangman's on the outside. Someone gives him a bottle of water to have a drink. The referee isn't counting. He comes out to have a word and check that everything's all right. He then gets back in and starts like counting again. And it's all like he was outside the ring for so long that he would have been counted out. He was outside the ring for about 30 seconds, let alone 10. So in that first one, there's just a couple of things that I just go, God damn. What, like, I know they're just little niggles, but they are niggles, and they are things that just made me go, God damn it. And it just kind of took me out of the match. Like, when you're watching a match, you're kind of with it, and you go in with the flow, and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, and they're building up to something. When you get, like, the momentum completely fall off a cliff, it really, like, snaps you out of it. And, like, that's my only problem with the first one. That's why that didn't happen in the second. And that's why I much prefer the second. I think that, and I know I'm in the minority, but equally I know why I'm in the minority. And so for me, the second was more enjoyable. And that was on the 5th of January. So I would go with Hangman against Danielson 2 as being my favorite match of the year so far. It's going to be hard for anything to beat that as well, in all fairness. It's going to be very hard because that is a hell of a match. It's both of them were good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the first was trash. I'm just saying if I had to pick between the two, I would pick the second for that reason. Let me just have a look. Yeah, okay, cool. We are up to date with Super Chats and things. I think Regal was brought in to help with booking, not just an on-screen guy, says Doppelganger. Ironic, Sammy, 12 titles. So that means Phil is on... I don't know what that means, Sean. What does that mean? I believe Claudio is backstage and Jeff debuts, says Jeremy. Restation, your favourite wrestling viewer. Emily, shout out to you. Shogoff says, since Cesaro left, his contract expired by itself. Does that mean he doesn't have a non-compete clause? Well, this is one that, to be honest, I just don't get too bogged down in. I mean, I don't know. We don't get to see those kind of contract details, and unless you're getting like regular updates from Dave and Sean Ross Sapp, then I don't know. I don't know where we are with that kind of stuff. So I don't know is the answer. And to be honest, I'm not bothered. If he can come in at some point, brilliant. If he doesn't, it's fine. I wish him all the best, and I hope that he does land somewhere. But I said before, like, wrestling's like really changing now. The focus now seems to be so much on surprises and people coming in and contracts and all this kind of stuff, rather than, you know, we will be talking more tonight about is Jeff Hardy going to come in than about any of the actual matches they've got planned for tonight. It's just wrestling in general is just in a really weird place, and I don't know when that will change, to be honest. I don't know when that will switch around. I think it's a little bit of wrestling has caused this problem itself. By people love surprises, and wrestling as a result loves, you know, the ratings those surprises bring. And so now, like, it's just always doing them. And, you know, Tony just keeps dropping, like, you know, surprises. Tune in. This is going to be earth-breaking, earth-shattering. WWE with, like, Royal Rumble. WWE with, you know, mystery person in the Elimination Chamber. WWE with teasing Veer for how many months, when's he going to arrive? So wrestling just, you know, has kind of done this to itself. But I wish, to be honest, I wish it would just move a little bit more back away from that, and it wasn't so much about people coming in all the time, and it would move back to, tonight we should be talking more about what's Jericho going to say to Kingston and talking a bit more about, can Scorpio Sky beat Sami Zayn? Could Scorpio Sky be a great TNT champion? Maybe talking a bit more about, has Leyla Hirsch got any chance against Thunder Rosa? Because it seems like that's just going to be Thunder Rosa winning, to be honest. It seems like they've set that matchup as a way to get Thunder Rosa back to the title very quickly. Apparently, there's a match against Britt. The winner will face Britt, and it will be in Thunder Rosa's hometown. And it will also be on the anniversary of that match they had. So, as a result of all of that, it seems like it's going to be Thunder Rosa, and it seems like it's going to be Thunder Rosa winning, I would guess, the women's title, the new women's title at that on that anniversary. Pro Boy said, I don't know why I thought of doing some wrestling. What are the main basics I should focus on? Sorry if you don't know. Well, the main basics of wrestling is being safe, first of all. I mean, there's no point doing anything unless you're going to be safe. So you need to learn how to take bumps. You also need to, run the ropes. I mean, I don't know how basic you want to be going, but taking bumps, running the ropes, obviously working on, your entrance, your look, just doing basic moves as well, clothesline, knowing where, you need to be facing, engaging with the crowd as well. There's no point going out there being in your own world, so you've got to work on presenting yourself. So the WWE Performance Center, they really break it down, and I know they do a lot on entrances. I don't know if they still do it now, but they did have an entrance set up in the Performance Center, and so they just kept practicing and trying different things for superstar entrances. And then obviously there was classes where they would get them to take bumps, and they would get them to do certain moves. They'd get them to do suplexes, and they would just run them through loads of different things like that. Once you've got that kind of stuff down, then you can start to build from there, and then you can start to put moves together. I think to start with, you just want to work on individual moves like a clothesline, a headlock, a lockup. Learning how to lock up is got to be Wrestling 101. So, all these kinds of things. And then once you've got those fundamentals down, and certainly knowing how to bump is the big one. So knowing how to be safe and how to bump is massive. And then once you've got these kind of fundamentals down, and you know how to run the ropes, and you know how to engage crowd and present yourself, and always be thinking about that, then you can start, learning hurricanranas, and you can start learning some of the other stuff to really, build a matchup. And yeah, I mean, obviously this is, it takes a long time. And this has always been my point about when non-wrestlers come in, they come in and they will learn some of this stuff to a degree, but it's only ever going to be to a degree because it takes so long. I mean, there's people that spend years and years in NXT and in wrestling schools. And then you get a lot of non-wrestlers come in and try to learn stuff in a few months. And it's just not possible. It's not possible. Even if you spent 24 hours a day, it's not possible to kind of learn and hone everything you need to know. Being a wrestler is a highly skilled craft, really. It is in a way an art form. I don't disagree with people when they say it's an art form. I agree. It's a canvas, and you get to express yourself on there. And, a lot of people would agree that great wrestling matches are masterpieces. You can go back, and some of the stories they tell and the emotion and the way that they build, none of that happens by chance and by luck. It's all, to people obviously working together to create those moments. And, yeah, that's why you just can't learn it in a few months. It takes a long time. So I think the best thing you could do would be to if you want to be a wrestler, get to a wrestling school. Make sure that you find the right wrestling school as well, one that's going to teach you the real basics, the real stuff. You want someone that's been there and done it. So if there's a wrestling school that's got some kind of name attached to it, or is well known for churning out talent that then goes places, go with them. What you don't want is, Barry down the road that's got a ring and he can show you some stuff. Like, you don't want to be doing that. You want to be, like, going, it's going to cost money, but, I mean, it's worth it. You can't skimp on that kind of an education. And then, you go learn, as we said, learning how to take bumps will be, the start. And, you'll just build up from there. But if you genuinely want to do that, I would say get started now, because it's going to take you a long time. And so you might as well get started now. And then, who knows, you might start and hate it. You might start and not enjoy it at all. And then, you can always drop out. But if you do it and love it, well, you even if it's like of a weekend, I know that there's, I think, was it Fight Club Pro in Wolverhampton, which was Trent Seven's promotion. He used to have, I think he still does actually, have a wrestling school. And that's where the likes of Millie McKenzie was learning. And, he had a class. And, she was very young. So I think she was probably, learning after college, after school, weekends. You can fit it around things. It's not like you have to give everything up and, just go to these lessons every day. I think there's ways you can fit it around. But, finding the right wrestling school would be the best thing to do. A lot of wrestlers are held back because they can't do promos, says Real YT. That is true. How would you book Jeff Hardy's AEW debut? Which persona would you like to see in AEW? How would I book his AEW debut? Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't know much about Willow. Okay? I don't know much about Willow, and I equally, to be honest, I don't know if AEW would be willing to accept anything that strayed into Supernatural, right? I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't know how that would play with the AEW crowd. I don't know. I would imagine even Tony doesn't know the answer to that one, because I don't know. It's hard to know as to whether they would go with it or not go with it, and I think by and large they've avoided going down that road. So if Jeff Hardy came in and I was booking, I would just have the Hardy Boys as, Team Extreme, great tag team, the legends that they are. I don't think at this stage in their careers you need really a reinvention. I just think bring them in as the legendary, iconic tag team that they are. One of the greatest tag teams of all time. You don't need bells and whistles for that. They are genuinely, legends. I mean, look at the Rock and Roll Express. Rock and Roll Express competed late into their career, still going, I think. They don't have any bells and whistles. They are the Rock and Roll Express. Everyone knows them. They're Hall of Famers, iconic tag team. And, they are in many ways the benchmark. If a team like Private Party could beat the Hardy Boys, that is a feather in the cap for Private Party. So I would actually have Hardys come in, and I would have them beating some teams, because you can't have everyone beating the Hardys. I know that a lot of people would be like, the Hardys, need to be putting over younger talent, and I do agree with that. But they can't put over all of the younger talent, because, if you beat the Hardys, then the Hardys just become nothing. They just become a joke. They become irrelevant. You've got to have the Hardys winning, and then at a pay-per-view, have them go up against the Private Party. Can Private Party do it type thing? I would probably explore that more so than Woken and Willow and, all those kinds of things. I don't think we need that. I think that was great for Matt in TNA and Impact, and I think that worked well and played well to that crowd. But I think right now in AEW, there's more value in advertising the fact you've got the Hardy Boys. You are going to have to put them in a ladder match. You've got to. You've got to, haven't you? So I would be really tempted. I mean, not straight away. You do that at pay-per-view. So, I would put them in against some younger teams. The first match is right, where are they now? These two haven't teamed together since whatever the date is. It's probably been a while. So these two haven't been a tag team since blah, 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 blah. It's going to take them a while to get back onto the same page. Do they still have the same magic? I would be telling that story for the first match. Have them go up against the team. Have them win. Have them look good. Like, the message after would be not only are they on the same page, they're looking as good as ever. And get that message out there that the Hardys are not just here to make up the numbers. They are looking good. And so, like, you can really run with that story for a bit. And as we said, build towards a pay-per-view. At the pay-per-view, I would have them, like, with undefeated, something along those lines. Have them go up against a Private Party. Have them go up against whoever you want, Top Flight or whoever. I'd have them go up against a young team. And maybe they suffer their first loss, but it's a great match. It's a classic match. And build up towards that. So I think bringing them in, I would go along those roads. If once the nostalgia, classic, great tag team vibe wears off, and after a while they've taken a few L's, people aren't really buying it, then you can put a bit of a fresh paint on, you know? Then you could go Woken, Willow, or whatever you want to do, right? But I wouldn't do that straight from the start. I think there is so much value in bringing in one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I mean, like, you can do Hardys against Bucks, you can do Hardys against Red Dragon, Hardys against FTR, Hardys against Top Flight, Hardys against Private Party. Like, the list is, you know, quite mountain. Hardys against Jurassic Express. Like, you go down the list of opponents that they could have, and it's like, this is good, man. This is good. Like, you could do some really, really great matches. So I would want to see those matches as well. I'd want to see those matches. The Hardys are already having matches and are making no secrets about it, says Ponton. I have a feeling that Jeff is coming in and feuding with Matt, says Jordan. Channel Name says, when Hardys returned at WrestleMania 33, I thought they would be until retirement. I did as well. Best tag team division in the world, says Ravers. Right now, have Jeff as Team Extreme. Maybe AEW could stray to Brother Nero and storytelling. Don't go to the supernatural elements of Willow and Broken Matt, says Erase Your Minds. Mike said, I think that Matt is getting ready to leave AHFO. Yeah, I think so. Ravers says, we are spoilt. Minty says, happy AEW. I hope something crazy happens. I cried when CM Punk came out to his Ring of Honor theme live in front of everyone. I know you don't want another All Out, but what about a Survivor Series like pay-per-view across brands yearly? AEW, Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor. Well, I mean, Impact being involved doesn't do it for me. Ring of Honor, we don't know what that roster's going to look like. New Japan, I think, would get cluttered, to be honest. I mean, like, you've got, basically, it would be like Raw, SmackDown, and New Japan. And New Japan would be the odd one out. Because even though Ring of Honor is going to be its own thing, it's developmental, apparently, it's still Tony Khan's. Like, AEW is Tony Khan's, Ring of Honor is Tony Khan's, and then you'd have New Japan. So they would feel like the odd ones out. So I think you would do AEW against New Japan. I would be down for that for a Survivor Series type thing. AEW versus New Japan. Sign me up for that. Or you could do AEW against Ring of Honor. Sign me up for that. Yeah, as long as that Ring of Honor roster is tasty and worth it. You know, it's going to have some names, though. I don't think it's going to work if it's a load of, you know, up-and-coming talent and it's not, you know, I don't think that will work. I think that it's going to have to, you know, you're going to have to put, like, CM Punk Danielson to Ring of Honor and have it as, like, a second brand in order to do that kind of a thing. I wouldn't put three in, and I wouldn't have Impact involved at all. But then saying that, I don't think Impact are really involved at the moment. I think they did some stuff together, and that seems to have cooled. So I don't think Impact fans think that AEW treated Impact very well last time. So I don't know how much of an appetite there would be anyway. And I don't know. I think it'd all be a bit cluttered. I I think it'd be a bit I think there'd be too much there. I think AEW against New Japan sounds amazing. AEW against Ring of Honor, if they're both two brands, sounds amazing. But I think, all Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW, that would be a bit too much for me. Are we getting a sequel to Sting versus Jeff, this time without Jeff completely wasted? I really don't think so. I mean, I would guess that Jeff's coming in to be with Matt in the tag team. They might try and use him as a solo star, but Sting's not really used as a solo star. So I don't think they're going to... I don't think there's really much need to do that match. You could say it's a nice callback, but I'm not sure it's a callback we need. So I'd probably lean towards no. James said, Tony Khan doesn't technically own Ring of Honor yet. The sale isn't quite complete. Vape Ross Vape said, Regal twice in 1 week. Bless you, Tony. Bless you. I do second that. Heather said, Days Impact is really good now, though. I'm sure it is, but it's still small. It's still not gonna have a buzz for me. There's probably some names that I might recognize, but I'd have to be introduced to a lot of people that I don't know. And so the idea of doing like a one-off pay-per-view where we do AEW against Impact would be just honestly not appealing to me right now. If they were going to do it and there was a massive crossover for a few months before where we could really get introduced to the Impact roster, then maybe I'd be a bit more inclined. But I feel like there would need to be a lot of work done because Impact gets numbers that are lower than NXT. And even though they've got, some decent names, I do like Jordan Grace, and I do like the Iconics or the Inspiration or whatever they're called now. And I'm sure there are some names that I would recognize there, but equally I know there would be plenty of names that I wouldn't, and I'd have to get introduced to those. Unless you was able to put together a team of ex-WWE people that... you'd be able to just look at and know them straight away. But saying that, I mean, you're still having to run with the Impact name, and I don't know if that would sell. I don't know if AEW against Impact would grab people. Again, I suppose if you can build it right, you might be able to do it, but I just think it's cleaner to just go with, AEW against New Japan. But then, I know New Japan stars because I've watched Wrestle Kingdoms. There'll be people out there that don't. There'll be plenty of people out there that have never watched Wrestle Kingdom and don't know the New Japan stars. So it's difficult. Tony's in a difficult place because he's having to cater to hardcore wrestling fans. But then equally, he's having to also remember that he's trying to grab as many people as possible. There's been a really interesting reaction to CM Punk using his Ring of Honor theme. Really interesting reaction. Some people loved it, brought back wonderful memories. Other people didn't know it was his Ring of Honor theme, didn't know what it was, and didn't enjoy it. So, there's on Twitter, there's been this thing playing out, and I think it's a really interesting conversation because it's not only about CM Punk. It's not only about his theme and if the theme was any good and all this. It's about where is the line for Tony? Where is the line? Like, when do you cater to the hardcore wrestling fans and when do you cater to the casual, or when do you cater to people that have just got into AEW? Loads of kids that are watching AEW mainly for, say, Orange Cassidy. And watching AEW because they love Sammy Guevara, or they have heard about, Danielson, or they love Bryan Danielson, and now they're watching him in AEW. Like, they're not going to have knowledge of Ring of Honor from the early 2000s. That footage has not been easy to find. It's not, out there. It's not something you can easily be exposed to. So, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's a tricky balancing act. Where do you draw that line? So, I don't know, is the answer. You know, how far do you go into a partnership with Impact? How far do you go into digging into that Ring of Honor back history, back catalogue? How far do you go into bringing in New Japan stars? I mean, seriously, did the New Japan stars make any difference to the ratings of the show on Dynamite? It's not like we brought in Suzuki and the numbers went through the roof. Like, I just kind of feel like they're nice, cool moments for the hardcores. But this promotion is bigger than the hardcores. So it's a balancing act. It's an interesting conversation. I don't know the answer to that one. Tony doesn't know the answer to that one. I don't think anyone quite knows the answer to that one. But everyone will have an idea as to where the line should be. Like, how often do you do that stuff? Once in a while, I think's fine. Like, you know, that's once in a while. You know, MJF, it fitted in the story. MJF, you know, loved CM Punk from that time. So CM Punk went and got the CM Punk from that time. So it fits the story, so it's cool. It's great. But you can't do... I don't think you can be going to that too many times. Because I think you'll start to leave people behind. There's a lot of people, myself included. I never watched Ring of Honor. So, I mean, I don't even know if it was on TV over here. I don't think it was. I don't think there was a way of watching it. And so there's a lot of references and a lot of things that would pass me by. So again, you know, it's a balancing act. Any idea where I could pick up AEW Upper Deck cards in the UK? I've been looking, but so far no joy. I've not seen them sold anyway. I mean, online would be your best bet. Cards aren't really a thing that has ever been over here. You know, if you go into like a Walmart in America, they have this massive display by the counters. I must admit, we've never had that kind of trading card culture. It's not really ever been a thing. I don't know if like somewhere like WH Smith's is going to stock them. That would be a first place that comes to mind. I don't know if somewhere like Forbidden Planet might pick them up. That would be another place that might come to mind. If I was looking for them, to be honest, I would try online to see if Upper Deck had a European outlet on the internet. If not, then you might have to get them from abroad and have them, like, you know, sent over and delivered over, which would up the cost. You might be worth putting in AEW Upper Deck UK into Google and just seeing what comes back. And as I said, you know, it might be a Tesco that's, you know, for some reason stock them, which would surprise me, or a Forbidden Planet, or WH Smith's. Those are the sorts of places I think of when I think of where they might be available in the UK. I don't think like a Smith's would stock them, or a B&M or a Home Bargains or anywhere like that. I mean, the whole world's just moving online, isn't it? We've had 334 votes. Do you think Jeff Hardy will debut tonight? Let's have a little look at that, shall we? Let's have a little look, see where we are. Will Jeff Hardy debut tonight? It's the talk of the town. It's what everyone's asking. And I can tell you 68% say yes, he will debut tonight. 32% say no, he will not. So two-thirds of people think that Jeff Hardy will be on the show tonight. Esteban said, I went figure hunting and the WWE section was full of formers. WWE had more AEW wrestlers on the pegs than their own. Wow, there's been a lot of people that have been released. A lot of people that have been released. Yeah, for most acquired tastes. Okay, I think we're off topic, but have you seen Chocolate Turtles? I don't know the name of the candy, but it's really good. Never heard of it. Michael said, how do you watch AEW in the UK? Fight TV. That's where there's a lot of like independent wrestling and stuff on Fight TV. Ring of Honor is on Honor Club, but Honor Club sucks, says Minty. Right, we are 3 minutes away. 3 minutes. Days, we watched Revolution with you this past weekend. Thanks for that energy. When do you think Wyatt will end up? When do I think Wyatt will end up? I mean, I think he goes to AEW. It is true. The question was asked a while ago. The longer that he is out of WWE, does it increase the chance of him coming back? Yes, it does. It has to, because he is available. And if they've got money, or all of a sudden, like, whatever bad feelings they were have died down, time heals all wounds. The longer that he's out and he's not gone anywhere, plus also now he's working on a film, WWE could look at that and think, well, when this film comes out, there's an opportunity to cash in on him. Now, WWE could make an offer again, and he might turn them down. He might have had such a bad experience there, he might not want to go back. I feel like AEW is where he will go. I know a lot of people have said Impact. Again, no shade on Impact, but it is a smaller promotion. Like, Impact is smaller than NXT, than obviously AEW. If you class like brands, I mean, it's smaller than Raw, SmackDown, Impact, Dynamite. I mean, it's like 5th on the list, and of shows that gets watched. So I kind of feel like for him to go there would be a bit of a problem, because I think he for his brand, he's going to want to be seen by as many people as possible. So it's either WWE or AEW for him. And if he don't want to go back to WWE, or they don't want him back, I think AEW is where he'll end up. I don't think the limitations they'll put on him, if they put some on him, will be a problem. I know that a lot of people would want him to do the exact same thing that he's done. I wouldn't expect him. He wouldn't be able to do that because they obviously, WWE own the Fiend, they own the Puppets, they own the Firefly Funhouse. Like, he would have to do something that you could argue is sort of close, but I think it's always going to be compared. It's a problem. He needs to really come back with something new. He needs to do something new. And different, because I think if he does anything close to being a Fiend and a Funhouse and all of that kind of stuff, I think people will compare it, and it might be compared favorably, but chances are it probably wouldn't, because I think the Fiend and the Funhouse were so loved. It's going to be very, very difficult to do something similar, better. I think what he would be wise to do is try and do something different. You can still do it dark, and you can still have hidden messages, and I think that is a large thing people really enjoyed. People really enjoyed watching those segments, trying to decode what he's saying, trying to read into things. People love to theorize and dig into stuff, and there's no reason why he can't do that. But just the Fiend and Puppets and Funhouse, I think that would all have to go. So I would say AEW with something different and fresh, but something that still people can read into, and something that I think would honestly work. I think it would still work. Here's Jericho. We are up and running. So Jericho is going to address Eddie Kingston. Jericho. Apparently this weekend, Bray is doing like a signing. So I should imagine there'll be a lot of people asking him at the signing about what his plans are. He's obviously not going to reveal anything, but I would expect him to tease something. I would fully expect him to tease something. So you might get even some answers or rumors, things to speculate about this weekend. Right, Jericho has made his way down. Those are some skinny jeans. WWE had the pipe bomb for Punk, better than anything that he's done in AEW, says Tommy. Looks like old school Jericho hair. Right, Jericho wearing his inner circle top. Are you ready for Dynamite? He said, last Sunday at Revolution was one of the greatest nights of my career. It's one of the best matches I've ever had. Might be the best match I've had in AEW period. It's high praise, isn't it? Eddie has awakened something in me. Okay. When it came down to it. After he beat Chris Jericho. I didn't live up to my word, and my word is everything. Okay. So is he going to do it now? I was frustrated. Shake his hand. Shake his hand. Crowd are chanting, shake his hand. I want to shake his hand, says Jericho. Surely going to be a swerve here. He ain't going to shake his hand. I want to apologize to you, Eddie. Shake his hand. Shake his hand. Eddie effing Kingston. That would be good, actually, Minty, if he was called that. Eddie effing Kingston would be better. Jeff Hardy to debut tonight. I'm calling it. Heather said he needs more highlights around his face. That would be epic. The Pillars. That's a nice shirt. I am calling this. He's going to ask Eddie to join the Inner Circle. Oh. No, I was thinking that he would turn and not shake his hand. We're going to get real deep, says Kingston. Kingston said he didn't want to show up. You got in my mind. I've lost to everyone. Give me a second for real. Show some respect. He's a great talker, isn't he? He says he got the courage from the fan fest. He shut down a what chant. Eddie is the best, says Minty. That is a way to shut up a what chant. That's weird, says Alexis. So Eddie said he wanted to make those people proud that believed in him. I hope I did you proud for all those at the Fan Fest. That handshake wasn't for me. Oh, I really like that. That's really good from Eddie. That's really good. Eddie saying that handshake wasn't for me. That handshake was for you. I didn't need it. I just want you to see that this isn't an Eddie problem. It's a Jericho problem. You couldn't shake my hand. That's really good. You're still the man. You're still number one, says Eddie. Jaden, hello. Why don't you have respect for young guys like me? I don't think he's that young, is he? Jericho's been doing a lot of DDP yoga. Where's this going? I don't know, Justin. I'm not sure. I thought he was going to turn heel on him. Shake my hand. So Jericho puts his hand out and said, I'll be honored if you shake my hand. So Jericho puts his hand out. They do shake hands. Bow by Eddie. Who's coming down? 2.0 are coming down. They're not beating up Jericho. They throw Jericho down, but then they don't beat up Jericho. They go back over and they just put a knee on him, but they're not actually hitting and kicking Jericho. Here's Santana and Ortiz, but they never beat. I watched to see if they beat up Jericho. They don't. They don't kick and beat up Jericho. They only kick and beat up Eddie Kingston. Has Jericho set up 2.0 to do that? I feel Jericho is not sincere here, says David. Jericho hitting Santana and Ortiz. Here's 2.0 working with Jericho. Jericho turns on Santana and Ortiz. Here's Hager coming down. Hager's asking Jericho what? Hager doesn't know what to do here. Hager attacking Santana and Ortiz. Is this a new faction? Is this a new faction? We've got a new heel turn. I love the heel Jericho. Inner Circle is no more. A new Inner Circle. Outer Circle. Santana, Ortiz, Kingston, down. Yeah, where is Sammy? Where's Sammy? Eddie on his knees. Jericho slaps him, and again. Baseball bat drives it into the side of Eddie Kingston's head. So, who's this? Garcia 2.0, Jericho, Hager. It's a great start. It's a great start. Outer Square, says Blaze Radio. Table being set up on the outside. Hager looking for a power bomb. He's got Kingston up. They're having to help. Look, Kingston high. That is high. Oh my God. He really arced back and on his head there. It was his head and his shoulders that really took a lot of that weight. Jeez. Eddie did not take that with his back. You'd want to take that with your back. You wouldn't want to be taking all your weight on your neck and your flipping... Jeez. This is the Jericho Appreciation Society. Jazz. Jazz. Guys, I'm a huge fan of jazz. Jazz. The Jericho Appreciation Society, lol. CM Punk. Jericho. That looked bad. It did look bad. Jericho Appreciation Society. I think that was more Hager's fault, says Lance. Jess. Garcia finally showing a bit of personality. He needed this. He's such a great wrestling talent. Being aligned with Jericho will be a boost to his career. Jess. Eddie took it on the neck. It was not smooth. Bad table spots. Worst name ever. Amazing. Shola said now he really is a Judas. Oh my God, does that mean we get new music? Oh my God, this might be the greatest thing to come out. Do you know what? If Jazz gets different music, because you can't play Judas and have the fans singing along if you're a heel. Oh my guys, this might be the greatest moment in the history of Dynamite. Right, we've got Top Flight. Look at the minute time. That is a great, opening 16 minutes. Really good. Really good. I'm still going to call them Outer Square. Jess. Legend Killer, hello. I hope you are well. Here's, is it just Dante? Oh, hang on. Is this the title match? Jesus. AEW title match. That's not the main event. No. This is what I was saying was a bit of a problem for Adam Page before. Adam Page, the whole show should be building up to his defending his title. You know, let's have a look at a video package about Dante Martin and all of this. Not, let's just throw over to the match. You know, we're still recovering from that Inner Circle thing. Throwing over to this match now. This should be the main... This is for the AEW Championship. I mean, has Dante Martin got any chance? You would say no. But that shouldn't mean that you still just chuck it out there. No, I'm not a fan of this being next. I got a meeting tomorrow about housing, Sonny. Shout out to you. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Right, looking at why Dante. Apparently he's ranked number 2 in the rankings. I mean, like, again, it'd be nice if that was explained. Video package looking at, you know, Dante's rise, how he's managed to get to this, maybe hear from Tony Khan, build it up. We've got Wardlow still to come. Against the ropes goes Dante, kip up by Hangman. Against the ropes goes Hangman. Shoulder tackle. Down goes Dante Martin. Kick by Dante Martin. Shoulder tackle again. Against the ropes goes Hangman. Up, head takedown. Drop kick by Dante. Dante looking good. So Hangman goes over to the corner. I think then using that new Jericho faction to get over the young guys, says Indiglo, 1971. World title match should be at a beginning of a show, end of the show, or an hour into the show, says Sil. I would disagree. I don't think that you just go to it. I think this is for the world title. This is the top trophy everyone is competing for, the main belt. Would you just put Roman out there if this was SmackDown now? Would you do a segment like that and then put Roman out at this point? You tend to have Roman open or close, but I wouldn't have it as, like, you know, just the first match following that segment. I mean, I suppose having him go out very, very first, if that's what you mean, to kind of like, welcome to SmackDown, here we go. You could do that if everyone knew this week was the title match, if you'd already built it up. But this was only announced an hour before. I didn't even know this match was happening until, like, as we said, an hour before the show when Tony tweeted it out. I don't. We might be at commercial break. I don't know, to be honest. The action has slowed a little as Hangman's on the outside, rolls into the ring. Storm's Magic said, could AEW become better than WWE? Well, some would argue that it's better now. So, I don't know. Better is very subjective. Bigger is obviously something that's more measurable. And, you know, could it become bigger? You would say unlikely, but you wouldn't rule it out. Give him, like, you know, a 5% chance that they can become bigger. It's going to be a long, long road. Because bigger wouldn't even mean if they beat them in the ratings necessarily, because WWE is all over the world in, like, you know, so many different markets. Could they be bigger in America, in the US? That would mean that they would have to beat the 2.2 million that SmackDown's getting at the moment. So, again, you know, it feels like we've got a long way to go. But better, as we said, is very subjective. It's very subjective. Hangman throwing in a shoulder to the midsection of Dante Martin. Big chop coming in. It definitely is better now, says Tahil. Sil said, what is the main event? I don't know. Genuinely don't know. I don't know that they've announced it. I mean, we've got Leyla Hirsch against Thunder Rosa, and we've got Sammy Guevara against Scorpio Sky also lined up. And there is the Moxley-Danielson tag match against the Work Horseman or something. After what happened in the face of the Revolution ladder match with Danhausen putting on his biggest curse yet on Ricky Starks, essentially costing the match. Will that be Danhausen's first feud? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I don't know when Danhausen's ready to go. I don't know when it's ready to go. I think there's plenty of feuds for him lined up. 1, 2, kick out by Hangman. The version of Roman brought me back to wrestling again, says True Killer. James said it all depends on what you enjoy. I enjoy you, James. That's what I enjoy. Strikes coming in by Dante. Against the ropes goes Dante. Flips over the top as Hangman goes out the ring. High kick coming in. Comes crashing down as Hangman goes down. AEW chants breaking out. I don't think Aubrey is a bad ref, but a lot of times she either counts too slow or doesn't count at all, says Shoggoth. I think 2.0 might cost Sammy the title, says Ravers. Being the Elite had a lot of cookies this week. Heat between Hangman and Alex from the Dark Order and between Bucks and Cole at the end. Hangman's vest was found in the Bucks locker room. True Killer, shout out to you. Mash Chief said Danhausen will likely be used a lot in Ring of Honor. It's not the worst idea. I don't mind that. Hangman has got Dante Martin down at his feet. Jumps up to the outside, lands on his feet. Hangman goes against the ropes. Strike. Dante goes in the ring. Against the ropes goes Dante. Up over the top. Gets pushed. Lands backwards. Hangman. Buckshot. Buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Hangman wins. There we go. Hangman gets the job done. Hangman Page wins. Great finish. So, almost a quarter of the way through this show. I mean, it's going really quick, to be honest. Not a bad match at all. Here's Tony Schiavone. Tony says, another great title defense. He's in the ring to talk to the champ. Let's see what the champ's got to say. Sign in the crowd says, Free Kane. Dante, get your ass back in here. Someone in the fight chat said, are they going to do a live sex celebration? Last year you was put in a tough position. You made it to the AEW World Championship. Hangman said, you're one of the hardest hitting and fastest guys I've ever wrestled in my life. He shakes his hand. Hangman shakes the hand of Dante. Here's Adam Cole. Guess we are going to get Hangman Cole Part 2. Okay, congrats. You got a full victory against Adam Cole, baby. Anyone can get lucky once. Next week. Six-man match. Everyone at Revolution felt like Adam Cole should have been champ. I believe he should have been, says Robert. So, six-man tag match next week. Adam Cole said, I'm going to make your life a living hell. I won't stop till I get what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Adam Cole, baby. Why are they playing Hangman's music? Was that a little production botch, do you think? Like, Adam Cole has come out, interrupted, said his piece, he then throws his hands up and Hangman's music plays. If I was Adam Cole and I just cut that promo, I am not going to stop until I hear a new AEW heavyweight champion. And then Hangman's music played. I'd be like, oh. Be a bit strange. So he gets a title shot, but challenges for a six-man tag team. Six-man, they're copying WWE. Please take that title off Page. He looks lost in this role. Red Dragon and Cole against Hangman and Bucks, says Shoggoth. I can see the Bucks turning face and joining Hangman versus Cole and Red Dragon, says Tyler. Yes, Fear said, I can't take Adam Cole serious anymore for some reason. Cole and Hardys. We can see in the ring at the moment. In the ring at the moment, we've got... I don't think we were meant to see that. Justin Roberts was walking around just like saying hello to the crowds. It was picture-in-picture momentarily. Two best friends. He's talking about not Red Dragon, but Hardy Boys. Shoggoth said it's because Hangman has the upper hand. Logan said, what have I missed? Loads. Genuinely loads. Outer Circle, let's go. Danhausen against Orange Cassidy in an ultimate comedy gimmick match, says Smithster. Days, do you think Adam Cole could pick Young Bucks versus Hardy Boys? I'm guessing it's going to be Cole and Red Dragon against Hangman and the Young Bucks. I don't think the Hardy Boys will be involved in this, unless it's going to be Hardys that partner Hangman. But we need to get Jeff Hardy back first. Two best friends. What if Adam Cole teams with Orange Cassidy? What if Adam Cole teams with Orange Cassidy? I like Orange Cassidy. I don't really have a problem with him. I just wish that when the bell sounded, we didn't get, like, the silliness. Like, he was in that ladder match trying to climb up the ladder with his hands in his pockets. And, like, that's where I struggle. Right, we're going over to William Regal. That's all you need to know. There's some other people involved, but it's basically William Regal. Yeah! Regal! 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 William Regal's here! What's he doing? He's like, I don't know what he was doing. There's a few hand gestures there from William Regal. Here's Jon Moxley. The blue blood is here. We are not worthy, says Master Chief. Tony Khan just tweeted a standby match between Pack and Yuta. Tweeted a standby match. Let's have a look. Tony Khan. What a great AEW World Championship match. Hangman against Dante Martin tonight. Because that bout didn't go the distance, I'm adding an exciting standby match to tonight's card. Pack against Wheeler Yuta on Dynamite tonight. Yeah, I like that. I mean, that's a match he always had planned, of course. The graphics ready to roll. And the superstars would have been, it would have been in the script all along. But I like the fact that they're saying that because the match didn't go the hour, that they're going to chuck this in. I talked trash the other night, but seeing Regal with Danielson makes me happy, says Cliff Beavers. Shoulder tackle by Moxley. Regal doesn't give a toss, says Shola. J.D. Drake is a good hand. Kicks coming in. And again by Danielson. Regal, 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 Regal. Regal's appearance. This is an instant 10 out of 10 show. Another kick coming in by Danielson as J.D. Drake goes down. There we go. Chop coming in. Kicks coming in now. I don't know who this dude is. The one that's in there right now with Danielson. Knee to the midsection. Still to come, AEW World Championship Eliminator. Title versus streak. Forearm strike by Moxley. Throwing in forearms and kicks. What are they chanting? Thank you, Regal. Thank you, Regal chants. I'm down for that. Thank you, Regal. Regal watching Danielson. I bet Regal just loves watching Danielson. I bet he flipping loves it. Looking for that surfboard stretch. There's a little smile on Regal's face as Danielson gets him back and gets the surfboard stretch applied. That kind of suffering, that kind of torture, that's the kind of thing that Regal would be a big fan of. Could Regal's appearance in AEW be more significant than when CM Punk arrived? I don't think it'll be more significant. I think CM Punk was out for 7 years. I do think that it depends how they use him. I mean, it depends if Tony's going to allow him to, help behind the scenes, do booking. bring, you know, he's got great contacts. I mean, look, it's a great signing. It's a great signing. You can use him as a GM. You can use him as a manager. You can use him as a producer. You can use him as a booker. Like, you can use him in so many ways. You can't really use him as a wrestler. He's had some pretty bad health problems, which is a shame because, honestly, Regal the wrestler, if he could still go, would I bet he wishes that AEW was around when he was coming through. I think he loved the comedy, though. He loved sports entertainment. Regal's always had an eye for the kind of theatrics. You know, he enjoys that side of it, but he's such a great in-ring, proper brawler, competitor. Very technical as well. Prides himself on that. He would have been brilliant in AEW. Smile on the face of Regal. That's Regal enjoyed that. Where is he? Is he not stepping in the ring, Regal? He's just staying on the outside. Moxley and Danielson get the win. Here he is. Regal steps into the ring. Look at Regal's face. Is he going to talk? Yes. William Regal's here, fixing the hair. Big cheer, smile on the face of Regal. He deserves this respect. Your lordship. Look at the smile on his face. Regal, Regal, Regal. Settle down. Mr. Shivani. I thought we would never do this again. Can you believe it? 29 years. Time has flown. I'm 53 now. I've lived more than a hard life. I know I'm not long for this world. I love Regal. Regal's the best. He calls Tony Schiavone sweetheart. Oh, he's a man after my own heart. He cracks me up. I haven't heard many other people saying in the AEW ring they're not long for this world. He's getting emotion. Regal's getting emotion. He's getting emotion. Oh, God. Just give him the AEW World Championship. I'm no longer required in my old job. My friend Brian Danielson had mentioned me on AEW Dynamite. And it piqued my interest. most of you. Okay. Can we just do 2 hours of this? I will make them a better professional wrestler if they want to work hard. I'll tell them what not to do. This is the wrestler I should have been. William Regal saying, this is the wrestler I should have been. Mux has not stopped walking this whole time, says Mitchell. Let Regal fill that time for Pack and Yuta. You became everything that I could never be. 11 years ago, I met you. The psychological problems we put on each other would make the devil cry. When you first get sober, you have enormous amounts of nervous energy. That's why Moxley is walking around. That's why this team is together. A warning to everyone that steps in the ring with this team: you either step up or you will be stepped on. I mean, listen, I loved that. I loved that. I thought it was super engaging. Didn't know where it was gonna go. Listening to Regal talk, like, it's not scripted. It comes from the heart. He's talking, you know, he's getting emotional, and he's really getting emotional. And he's talking about how Moxley, you know, kind of had problems as well. And, you know, they've worked together and known each other for 11 years. His stuff with Danielson was really touching. The only thing I would say is maybe it lacked a bit of punch. Like, it didn't really lead anywhere. It was just him saying why this, you know, he's a part of this. But still great. Regal is amazing. That was good. Keep Regal on TV. WWE insane for letting him go. That's getting a lot of YouTube views, says Shola. Let him in said that was brilliant. Regal has got gorgeous green eyes. Doppelganger said it was perfect. It's great. Do you know, the thing with that is, I thought you know, I felt that everything he said was real. I felt the delivery of it was real. Everything he said was real. I think it's because everything he said was real. I think Regal has just spoke from the heart, like legit, like not scripted. I think they said, can you just go out there and explain why you're a part of this? And he's gone out there and just basically spoke about his relationship with Moxley, his real relationship with Moxley, and spoken about his relationship with Daniel Bryan and his real relationship with Daniel Bryan. I just feel like I've watched something real in that bit. And maybe you could say, you know, a bit rough around the edges or didn't really have, like, the biggest of purposes, but I still found myself, like, on the edge of my seat, not really knowing where it's going, not really knowing if they were going to call someone out or if there was going to be a third person added or... I don't know. I didn't know quite to know what to expect as to where it was going. It was gripping. It was great. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Right, we've got our next match, which is Yuta and Pack, and we got Danhausen out there, and we've got Orange Cassidy out there. Anna, shout out to you, says A1 promo gives background and context. That's something AEW could do with more. It's about time we saw a promo that was on that level. Yeah, well said. Well said. I like it. I like it. A1 and A. I think that was a band. A1 promo. Reasons why we need Wyndham in AEW. He will turn the Dark Order into the most feared faction in AEW, says Shoggoth. One thing you won't get from Regal is talking trash about WWE. I hope not. I hope not. That would not be in line with what I would expect from him, to be honest. So, yeah, I agree. Rest with Andy said, Days, where do you rank Regal in greatest British wrestlers? Probably, well, top 10. I think, you know, it would be a bit... There's been a lot of great wrestlers. I mean, impact-wise, you could maybe argue British Bulldog shone a bit brighter, but I don't know that he had quite the impact on the business. Certainly don't think he was as respected as his peers as what Regal was. Regal has just done it in WCW. I know that Bulldog was over there as well, in all fairness to him. I think if I was to watch a match, I'd want to watch a Regal match. If I was to listen to a promo, I'd want to watch a Regal promo. But I think impact-wise, Bulldog had a bigger impact. If you're saying UK, then I suppose you got to take into account Drew McIntyre as well, who's, you know, shining quite bright at the moment. I wouldn't really class like Leyla. Adrian Street would be in the conversation. I think Adrian Street is a big name. I can't think who is it Charles? Who the hell am I thinking of? I'm thinking there's someone that I'm thinking of and I can't think of their name, and it's really, really annoying me. There's a name that I'm thinking of and I just can't find it. Billy Robinson. Billy Robinson would be right near the top. Billy Robinson, Adrian Street, William Regal. I mean, Finlay, I think's Northern Ireland. So, fit Finlay. You'd have to go Will Ospreay. Maybe Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know. Ospreay's achieved a lot. But yeah, I would have him top 10. William Regal, I'd have him top 10. And you'd probably have to put Dynamite in there as well. Billy Robinson was the name I was forgetting, yeah. He was an incredible wrestler. I mean, just when it came to actual wrestling, like Catch As Catch Can, he's, you know, one of the top names that you think of. McIntyre is Scottish, not English. We was talking UK. Right. Good question, though. Good question. Dynamite Kid says, David. Stuttering Steves says, the promo he did with Triple H about Eugene years ago is still the greatest in my opinion. Regal was a big mover and shaker behind the scenes with Tape Library and Network and Peacock and working with companies like Evolve. Fans don't know how much he did for WWE. He is worth his weight in gold. Do you like Pack? I like Pack. I really like Pack. I think that he's a great in-ring talent, but I mean, he only got so far in WWE. He's only getting so far in AEW. I'd love to see them I wish that there was a flipping, if he went to New Japan and competed in their light heavyweight championship, their junior heavyweight championship, he could be like one of the most successful wrestlers over there. But he's constantly having to compete against, in WWE, how's he ever going to get past Roman? How's he ever going to get past Cena? How's he ever going to get past Brock? And that's the problem when you don't have a lighter division. And when a lot of these companies do get lighter divisions, they're always seen as less than. And I really disagree with that. I really, really disagree with that. If you look at UFC, their lightweight division, their middleweight division, is not viewed as less than the heavyweight division. You could make an argument the heavyweight division is the big boys, here we go, it's the heavyweights. But that doesn't stop people losing their freaking mind about Conor McGregor. Pat gets the win. And, Conor McGregor, one of the biggest boxers of all time, Floyd Mayweather, nowhere near heavyweight. One of the biggest MMA fighters of all time, Conor McGregor, nowhere near heavyweight. Another massive boxer, Pacquiao, nowhere near. Right now, Canelo, nowhere near. None of these are anywhere near heavyweight. So it's so, I think wrong to just focus on the big guys. Just you're leaving money on the table. Right, we've got Adam Cole, Red Dragon. We've got Young Bucks. We're going to change everything next week. Okay, Bucks aren't interested. I wasn't picking you. I was picking Bobby and Kyle. So, Young Bucks have said they're not interested. Main event is going to be Sammy Guevara against Scorpio Sky. Leyla Hirsch, Thunder Rosa. AHFO is the emergency meeting of AHFO is next. AHFO is next. Here we go. Why does Kyle O'Reilly always look like they've pulled him up in the middle of a game to do a promo? Finn Balor and Ricochet are champs, says Sil. Yeah, but they're mid-card champs. We're talking about the top. The conversation started about Pack, and, we're talking about the best British fighters of all time. And my answer was that he's only going to ever get so far. Certainly in WWE, AEW could be a bit different, but in WWE, someone like Pac's going to really struggle to get past Cena, get past Brock, get past Roman. He's going to really, really struggle to get it to the top of the card. And we're seeing the exact same thing with Finn Balor right now. People love Finn and they love the Demon. But I don't know if it's his size or what it is. But again, it's the flipping Brock Roman show, isn't it, at the moment? And if it's not Brock Roman's show, then it's the Bobby Lashley show or the Drew McIntyre show. We all know what Vince looks for. And it's not Finn Balor and it's not Pac. So, you know, that's why I'm saying that these companies would really benefit by having a smaller division title that main events pay-per-views and is seen as equally as important. Because you're right now, Finn Balor's floating around the mid-card. And so is Ricochet, and he's lucky to be there. I mean, Ricochet winning was a massive shock. I mean, he's been sat in catering for how long? So they've got mid-card titles at the moment, but can you see them getting back to the world title? I mean, I'd hope so one day, but there's certainly no guarantees with that. Not whilst you've got, like, Roman, Brock, Drew, Bron Breakker coming through. So on. Gable Steveson about to come in. Blah, 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 blah. Right, let's change this over. It is the emergency meeting. So, is it AHFO? Emergency meeting. Don't forget Chris Adams says in Glow. Yep, good shout. Really good shout. Let's get rid of the poll because I don't think it's moving much anyway. We've had 808 votes. There we go. 68% of people said yes, and 31% of people said no. James said it's a damn travesty that Regal was never a world champion. I agree with that. Okay, we're seeing... Okay, so we got FTR. I understand, family. Oh, no, it's a bit of argy-bargy. You're fired? What? Why have they fired him? Why have they fired him? I want to make things right in the AHFO. Andrade said, "You want to fire me from the company I started?" I apologize for treating you poorly. Okay. They've transitioned so fast, I was still taking in the dude being fired and Matt's already talking. Yeah, that's a bit of a shock, isn't it? We will take a vote. My kids. So they're going to vote as to whether Matt Hardy should be out, and Andrade votes thumbs down. Why does he get a vote anyway? We've got 2 thumbs up from Private Party. They're keeping their hands up. Are they about to turn? Yeah, they've turned. Okay. You need to watch your back. So they've got thumbs down, and Hardy's being attacked. Hardy's being attacked. Is this going to set it up? I think there's the Jeff chance now. Everyone's looking over at the entranceway. Everyone's hoping that Jeff's going to come in. He's being attacked at the moment by Private Party. Nah, they've got to deliver. Big kick. They've got to, haven't they? Tony set this up for a reason. He knows he's not going to tease the crowd and not pull the trigger. There's a dude in the crowd that's got a sick tiger mask, by the way. Here we go. There's some music playing. Darby Allin? Ah, a little swerve. Little swerve. Darby Allin and Sting coming down. Making their way down. Nah, swerve. I'm still thinking Jeff comes in. Darby and Sting. No one likes Matt, I guess. The crowd look disappointed. Nah, I don't see it, man. I really don't see it. Tony would know. You wouldn't even tease this if you didn't have Jeff coming in. Darby's being overwhelmed. Sting's being overwhelmed. Sting's in trouble. Matt's in trouble. Everyone's in trouble. Here it is! Here it is! He's making his way down. Hardy in the ring. Big strikes. Jeff Hardy's in AEW. Jeff Hardy is all elite. Nice. Hardy with a forearm smash. No face paint on Hardy or anything. He's just got his hair back in a ponytail. Big Hardy chants coming in. Big Hardy chants. Matt Hardy, twist of fate. We've got both the Hardy boys and Sting in the ring as Jeff's going up, looking for the Swanton Bomb. Looking for that Swanton Bomb. Gets it. And there we go. Matt and Jeff embrace. Darby Allin's in the ring. And it is, they have done it. As I said, maybe not the biggest surprise in the world, but still a great moment. Swanton Bomb. You've got JR saying, what can happen next? Where are we now? What's happening next? Where's this going to lead? What's this going to lead to? It's good, man. Good. I mean, that's going to breathe life back into Matt Hardy. No doubt about that whatsoever. That will breathe life back in. He didn't stay very long. I mean, he was coming down to save his brother, in all fairness, so he didn't stay, like, on the entrance ramp very long. But, yeah, it was good. We're seeing Isaiah Swerve. So we've got Swerve just backstage with Tony Schiavone. And is this Tony Nese? Yeah, his music hit, and he didn't stick around very long. He just raced down the entrance ramp, jumped in the ring, and just embraced. I mean, it makes sense. He was there to save his brother. It's cool. I'm going to get a little... we go to commercial break. That'll be obviously the big talking point from tonight. A lot of excitement about Jeff coming in. A lot of excitement about Jeff coming in. AEW's got to the point where surprises just aren't surprises. Well, you say that, but we did have William Regal. I think William Regal was a great surprise. I've got a few images. We've got this one there, Jeff in the ring with Matt embracing. We've got one here of, that's a good image. There's Jeff in the ring with Private Party. These are just a couple of quick little screen grabs that I took as it was like happening. So, massive news then coming out of AEW. This you can see Matt Hardy being attacked by Private Party. AHFO had just voted Matt Hardy out. And it was Andrade that was about to take his jacket off and finish the job. We did get Darby and Sting come down and try and make the save. That didn't work either. They got overwhelmed. That then saw Jeff's music hit, and Jeff Hardy raced his way down. Didn't stick around on the entrance ramp long at all. Just raced down, slid into the ring here. And you can see, got into the ring and evened up the scores. That meant that the faces could chase the heels away. Jeff Hardy even delivering a swanton bomb. And there he is, look, embracing Matt Hardy. So it is official that Jeff Hardy is now all elite. It's maybe not the biggest surprise in the world. It was heavily teased. It's not, as we said, a massive surprise. We didn't know if it would happen tonight, but it did happen tonight. And the Hardy Boys are reunited in AEW. And this is big news, because I think it's going to breathe some new life into Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy really needed this. You could argue that Jeff needed it as well. He wasn't really going anywhere in WWE. And, this is going to be big to have the Hardy Boys, much-loved tag team, back together in AEW. That is going to really inject some life to that AEW tag division. What next, though? What next for the Hardy Boys? Where do they go after here? Because, I think there's lots of great matches for them, but it's going to be really interesting to see, what their next first match together is going to be, what feuds they're going to have. Are they going to put the tag belts on them? Are they not going to use them for that? It's going to be interesting. Wardlow's making his way out. This is going to be interesting as well. I got to tell you, I've really enjoyed this show. I think this has been a really enjoyable AEW Dynamite. It's not, we've not had like any silliness or anything. It's been like, good matches, great promo from Regal, Jeff Hardy coming down as well. So really solid stuff. Right, he's in the ring. Tony Schiavone is doing the interview. Let's see what he's got to say. We all come to a moment in life where you have to decide. Are we going to take that step and take that chance? He said he spent too long helping others. Some great talent has been added, says Jack. Oh, let me change this. I haven't changed this over. Wardlow. Wardlow is all elite. Wardlow. I knew Max was a good person. You'll have to forgive me for associating with such trash. He says he grew up poor. Okay. He's talking about how he wants to provide his mum with a better life. It's all good stuff. Max changed my life. And he says, Max, I thank you. You can't, you shouldn't, it doesn't give you a right to disrespect them. You decided your own fate last week. Yes, I'm still under contract with Max, but I no longer give a damn. He says he's finally free. So he's no longer a member of the Pinnacle. He's finally free, and we're sure to hear from Max following this. I hope you're as intelligent as you claim to be, Max. Okay. I would love to powerbomb Max till he can't move. But I've wasted 3 years on him, and I refuse to waste any more. I didn't expect so much from Wardlow tonight. He's not going to stop for the TNT title. Okay. This is officially Wardlow's world. Not bad. Not bad promo. It'll be interesting to see what Max has got to say about that. Okay, we've got QT Marshall talking to Keith Lee at the moment. Wardlow's Worlds. What a great promo. I get serious Roman Reigns vibes from Wardlow, says David. He's going to be a top star. Jack says, great promos tonight. Did you like your new name? Yes, very good. This is a really good show, says Master Chief. Tyler said that was a surprising very good. Jeremy said a lot of interviews. There's a lot of interviews, but I don't mind that because it's setting things up. I don't mind that. Here come Jurassic Express. Yeah, I really don't mind the fact there's a lot of interviews. I think it's setting the scene for quite a few things. You know, I mean, we needed to split HFO. The only thing I would say is there too much happening? Do you know what I mean? It's like we've had Inner Circle breakup, we've had Tully breakup with FTR, we've had Matt Hardy kicked out of AHFO, we've had Jeff Hardy come in, we've had William Regal cutting a promo as to why he's got with there's so much. There's so much in this show. I just don't know if it's does it make it hard to really digest everything and take everything on board? I don't know. Right. Yo, now listen. Listen. Yo. They want to see you go down like the price of gas. All that hair on your head and you can't grow pubes. Oh. Yo, now listen. Right, tag titles being shown. So this is like a mini flipping pay-per-view. Got the world title up for grabs. We've got the mid-card belt up for grabs. We've got the tag titles up for grabs. It's all up for grabs. Jurassic Express against the Acclaimed. Do you know what? I probably should do that a little bit better, shouldn't I? Jurassic Express versus the Acclaimed. I've got no use for Max, but I love Bowens. Yo, now listen. Boom. Imagine Wardlow and Bron Breakker as a tag team. Chris says this is like a pay-per-view. Okay, we are underway. We've only got 40 minutes left to go. What's the main event? It's going to be Thingy against Thingy, innit? It's going to be Sammy Guevara against Scorpio Sky. TBS. TNT. TBS is the lady one, isn't it? It's the lady one. Luchasaurus in control. Jungle Boy. One. Just a one. Do you think if Jeff relapses, Tony Khan will do what Vince did to get him the best help? Yes. I think it says a lot about a person when they say they do not want it. I think that I think Tony will do that. Tony's all about looking after the wrestlers' healthcare and whatnot, not firing them from the contracts, just letting the contracts expire type things. So, yeah. The only bad thing is that Jeff doesn't like Loaded as his theme because it's more a Hardy Boys theme. So I think AEW will give him his own theme. What does a chicken coop? Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors? Because if it had 4 doors, it would be a chicken sedan. Nice. I wish I had your range of voices, says William. I wish I had your confidence, William. Tim said, no way that happens with Jeff. It was all a ploy to leave. David said, that's right, thanks. Also have Leyla Hirsch against Thunder Rosa. That one is obviously Thunder Rosa. Yes. Yes. Hardy Boys. It's Jeff Cobbs. Right, we are... again, I don't know if we are in commercial break or not, but... We've got... There's a lot of people saying they're really, really pleased to see the Hardy Boys back together. A lot of people saying that. I was just having a little look online, actually, see what people are saying about it. AEW Dynamite is the top trend with the Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy and Hardy Boys are trending. Does Mox and Danielson have a tag team name yet? Regal's Girls. Regal's Girls, that's what they should be known as. Regal's Fancies. Regal's Corgis. Picture in picture. I absolutely love the acclaimed Dirty V. That's too funny. Oh, you are in picture in picture. Strikes the midsection by Jungle Boy. We got 36 minutes to go. Heather says, the Batman was excellent. 8 out of 10. I have seen some great reviews of that film, yeah. Luchasaurus is pacing around on the outside of the ring, desperate to get in there. Desperate to get inside. Regal Sweethearts, the Diamond Girls, yes. Yes. All of these are great suggestions. Regal's new addiction. Listen, he mentioned it. Clothesline by Jungle Boy. Kick up by Jungle Boy. Tags in Luchasaurus. Shoulder tackle. Down go both members of the Acclaimed. Storm's Magic. Shout out to you. Says, Days, I feel like AEW is giving wrestlers a second chance after they are dumped by their former brand. There is definitely a degree of that, but I think AEW, I don't think they're just serving that as a purpose. I think they are looking for the great available talent that is out there. And they're picking up the best talent they can get. You know, they are trying to put on the best show possible. And if and when great talent becomes available, they'll take it. I do think there's a few sign-ins that are a bit weird. I'm not sure. I don't quite get the Tony Nese one. Here's Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus. Hurling. Bang. Big slam. Stand in. Moonsault. That's lovely. 1, 2. Real Stone Cutter, shout out to you. Is the new Batman a reboot or a sequel to the Dark Knight saga? I believe it's a reboot, isn't it? Like, it's not Christian Bale. So if they were going to try and continue it, but with a different lead actor, that would be a bit... I wouldn't like that. They are also helping young talents. Cold Steve is going to WrestleMania, says Danhausen. Over the top rope goes Luchasaurus. WWE Supercard has released a new tier that's called Road to WrestleMania. The card images features superstars in old WrestleMania gear. Also, Isaac Yankem got his first cards. Very cool. For fans of Supercards, I bet there is a lot of excitement now that Isaac Yankem is in the game. 1, 2. Alex, if I wanted... I don't. But if I wanted to restart playing Supercard. How long or how much money would I have to spend to get a competitive pack? That is the question that I'm interested in. To actually be competing and winning and enjoying the game and all of that. If I wanted to really, like, get somewhere. Again, I don't. But I'm just thinking some might be interested. How much time do I need to invest? How much money do I need to spend? Is it worth people starting? Like, you've got all this knowledge. Let's tap into it. Let's tap into it. Moldy, hello, said, the thing is, Tony's got the money to spend. Going over budgets on wages won't affect him in the slightest. Obviously, there'll be a limit, but going over doesn't matter when you've got it. Apparently, there was a tweet sent out and then deleted by Jeff's wife that said Jeff only wants to focus on his family and he will never do rehab, even if he relapses. Do you think that is bad? I think that everyone has to make their own decisions. Rehab does not work for everyone. So if he's been to rehab that many times and it just hasn't worked for him, but being with his family helps him keep on the straight and narrow or whatever, then no. Who am I to comment about what he thinks is the right way forward for him? Kicked by Luchasaurus. To compete in the top tier, you'd have to spend about £150 and play every day. Is that true? You'd have to spend about 150 quid and play every day. Wow. I'm surprised the reboot. I was expecting some more Dark Knight sequels. Jessica Express have won, but we're moving on. Here's Jade Cargill. It's like every second counts on this show, doesn't it? It's good Frog Splash, man. $30-0 next. Who wants to step up? Oh, let's not make the kiss of death a thing. Okay, here's legit Leyla Hirsch. Days with free packs, free coins, and quests. I would say a few weeks. Many of the play to win modes give a free attempt, or join a team and be a freeloader. Right, here's Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa. Here's Thunder Rosa. Let's go. They could easily fill the same material over 3 hours if they paced it differently. I know people don't want 3 hours, but 2 definitely feels a bit packed. Either Rampage needs 2 or this needs 3, says David. So the kissing thing's going to be regular. Can we not? Yeah, can we not? I don't need that. I don't need that. Perhaps, like, I don't know, perhaps it got some, like, teenage boys all excited. Maybe that's the market we're going for now. I mean, this is the 18 to 45 demo, so perhaps the 18-year-olds flipping lost their mind over 2 girls kissing. Will they have Japanese women in this eliminator? No, well, no, I think it's just this match, isn't it? Is it just this match? What are we talking about? To be number 30? I don't know. She just said step up, didn't she, to someone? If she keeps doing the kiss, that's going to be made into a compilation on a certain website. I should imagine it'll be made into a compilation on a lot of websites, to be honest. Take over by Leyla Hirsch. Hirsch pushing Thunder Rosa back. Thunder Rosa step into Hirsch. Against the ropes goes Hirsch. Over the top. Arm drag. Another arm drag. Drop kick. And Rosa running over, smashing into Leyla Hirsch, and again. Mandy Rose would never do that. Yeah, but do you want to be compared to Mandy Rose? Do you know what I mean? I'd set your sights higher. They do it in SmackDown with the Latin guys. So, well, not with the girls now. Because, like, the Latin guys are meant to be Lotharios. That's, like, you know, that's part of their gimmick. Like, that's, like, you know, they're, you know, one for the ladies. Like, Jade doesn't need that. She doesn't need to go kissing all her opponents. I feel like we're just sexing it up for the sake of sexing it up. Back elbow. Forearm strike coming in by Leyla. What a fan or Randy. Larry said, I agree with David. Where's David? I agree with David as well. I can't see him, but I agree with David. Alex said, Days, I've got an alternative account on Supercard that I play with very rarely. I'm pretty much on top tier without a single point being spent. And I've spent about £20 on my main account this season. Yeah, but that sounds like you've spent a lot of money on it, in all fairness. And, well, not money, but time. Sorry. Sounds like if you're not going to... Surely it's going to take a lot of time or a lot of money. And the chop coming in. Forearm smash by Leyla Hirsch. What's with the Mandy Rose disrespect, says Brenton. Kick out by Thunder. Master Chief said, kissing is a part of Latino culture. Kiss of death is a part of social media. Is a part of social media likes. Big difference. Oh, it's big in the social media likes culture, though. You're absolutely right. Where are the Dudleys? We've got the Hardys and Christian. Ed should leave, says Larry. Leyla Hirsch has got Thunder Rosa upside down. She's pulling on the arm. We got 25 minutes to go. Main event still. Sammy against Scorpio Sky. Here we go. Pin. 2. Crowd are a bit quiet for this match, to be honest. Thunder Rosa screaming. If you don't play every tier, you fall behind, says Moldy. This is the most social media I do a day, says Tar Heel. Mark said, what happened to the figure videos? Just never got a chance to go out and actually buy any new ones during the pandemic, so it's kind of set everything behind. So it just, you know, was a struggle. Clothesline by Thunder. She keeps clotheslining Leyla Hirsch. Drop toe takedown. Leyla Hirsch goes over by the ropes. Edge and Christian haven't been a thing fully since 2001, says Brian. Crowd is wiped out. The AEW shows wear you down. Drop kick there by Thunder. Thunder Rosa with a bridge, and Leyla Hirsch gets her shoulder up. She glides over in the corner to Leyla Hirsch. Thunder Rosa going up, tries to drop knees. Leyla Hirsch round the back, German suplex. Kick out. She didn't get all of that. That suplex didn't look great by Leyla Hirsch. Leyla Hirsch going over to the corner. She's climbing up top. JR said, I think this is a mistake and a forearm strike to the back. I don't know what it is. I just don't think the chemistry is there between these two. Thunder's going to go for a superplex. She gets it, but it's not brilliant. I don't know. Did Leyla reverse it? No, Thunder's got her up on her shoulders. Adrenaline dump from the crowds. 1, 2. Kick out by Leyla Hirsch. I also forgot about Randy Orton. He would be a major sign-in. Imagine for the ages an AEW TLC match involving them all, says Larry. Shola said the crowd have been overwhelmed tonight. Matt said, AEW tires you out through enjoyment. WWE bores you to sleep. William says, that is okay. William, shout out to you. We've got Leyla Hirsch on the outside. She's going for that. Red Velvet's grabbed her, chucked her in. Red Velvet is distracting Leyla Hirsch. Kick to the midsection by Thunder. Leyla reverses. Armbar. Is it just me? I don't know. Is it just me or is this match just really off? Strike coming in by Leyla. Over the top goes Thunder. 1, 2, 2. Picking up Leyla. She's got her upside down. Plants her down. 1, 2, 3. Thunder Rosa wins. Thunder to win the title in Texas. If there's an event card I want, I tend to play about 2 or 3 hours a day, but that's rare. On a busy day, I spend 10 hours or less. I'd hate to see my overall time. In a busy week, I would probably spend 10 hours or less. I'd hate to see my overall time since 2014. Yeah. Thunder Rosa's crying in the ring. Steel cage. Steel cage match next week. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. Here's Britt Baker. Hey Thunder, champ here. That belt looks great with that jacket that's got loads of gold like highlights all over it, and it looks great. You get all of San Antonio back in you. Where's Mercedes? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of a cage. I'm worried about what happens to All Elite Wrestling if Carney Riffraff like you becomes a champion. Mid-South North American belt, says Brenton. Why do they have to make it so obvious this is going to happen next week, says Lance. Indiglo said a top of the cage jump from Thunder Rosa. Do you think AEW made a mistake not putting the title on Rosa at Revolution, or do you think they're waiting for next week? I wouldn't put the belt on her at all. Because, and I've been a fan of hers since NWA, but I don't think she's on a good run at the moment. I thought her match against Britt Baker at the pay-per-view was flat. I thought what we just saw there was flat. I thought her match against Jade Cargill was really bad. Like, genuinely, some of the worst matches I've seen this year have been Thunder Rosa matches. And I can't quite tell if she's injured. I can't quite tell. I mean, like, she burst into tears in the ring after that, which is a bit of a strange reaction. So I can't quite tell what's going on at the moment. But to me, after seeing some of her matches this year that have underwhelmed, I'm personally not clamoring for Thunder Rosa to be champion. I think Britt Baker is knocking it out the park at the moment. I think she's great. I think Britt Baker, with her promos, with having Reba and Jamie Hayter, like, everyone talks about Thunder and Britt, but that was 12 months ago. And what has Thunder really done in those 12 months? Like, I don't know, man. I'm sure they're going to do it. I'm sure they're going to pull the trigger and put the title onto Thunder Rosa. But she's not going in with much momentum for me. And I do think it hurts that it seems to be quite painfully obvious that this is what's going to happen. So I think they didn't put it on her so they can put it on her next week. If I was booking the show, I wouldn't be putting it on her right now. I'd be saying to her, give me a run of great matches. I'll give you great opponents, but give me a run of great matches. I want people clamoring for you to be the next champion. And you could argue that, some are. But I don't know. I always think that if I feel this way, there's others that are going to feel this way. Just her stock just seems to be a bit low at the moment. That match against Jade Cargill was it the TBS tournament, was painful. That was a bad match. And you go, all right, it was Jade Cargill. But then her match tonight was bad. That was bad. That was a horrible botch-filled match. It's horrible. And her match did not shine against Britt Baker at Revolution. People coming out of that weren't raving about that match. Tommy said he hated it. So, I don't know. It just doesn't. Something's not right, and I don't know what's not right. Something's not right. I'd be sitting her down and just having a word and just be like, is everything all right? What do you need? Do you need different opponents? Like, do you need a rest? Are you just, are you carrying an injury? Don't know. Is it just a few bad matches? Is it just a bad little run? I mean, Jade's hard to get a good match out of. I can go with that. But then, Leyla Hirsch and Britt Baker. Next, we got Scorpio Sky coming out. Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky. She can raise her stock with another great match against Britt. That's true. No way MJF will let Wardlow out of his contract, says John. He'll go out of his way to do whatever he can to try and not punish and humiliate him. James said, if not Rosa, then who should it be? Because Britt has beaten everyone. I wouldn't let that be a barrier, to be honest. I mean, personally, I'd stick with Britt and just see. I mean, just keep going with Britt. I personally would book it so that Britt won next week. I would... I mean, you can always bring in... We've said that there needs to be some women that come in. What's happened to... Where's Ruby Soho gone? I mean, in all fairness, she's got no momentum either. I'm not saying that she's any much better. There's not been many great performances out of her. But she just seems to have disappeared a little bit, so... I don't know, maybe you could bring in some new faces in the women's division. I mean, that could really do with an injection of talent, couldn't it? It could really do with an injection of talent. But I wouldn't just change the title because it's like, who else? You know what my answer would be? Serena Deeb. There you go. Serena Deeb. Just not right now because she's a heel. Rosa should beat Britt. It will most likely be next week, but I would prefer her facing her another time so that Britt can hold it a bit longer. Doppelganger says, contract on a pole match, Wardlow and MJF. Tony Khan should sign Ember Moon. That would be fun. That would be fun. David said you're forgetting it's Serena Deeb. Never am I forgetting Serena Deeb. But she's a heel at the moment, doing that heelish stuff. I mean, that wouldn't be the right way forward. You need a face. Keep up by Sammy. The only one I'd be all right with beating Britt right now would be Jade, and she's already a champion. Who in WWE do you see as lifers? Probably Randy. I mean, anyone that's got, like, you know, been around for a while, that's got to the top, you know, Roman, Randy, I don't see Vince letting them go. Maybe Rey Mysterio, but he could always go. I think Vince will pay the money. I mean, the only reason we've got Dominic is because he wants to keep Rey around, so, you know, he's doing whatever he can to keep Rey. I think he knows Rey would be a big get for AEW. Same with Seth. Got to think Seth is someone that's going to be a WWE lifer. Moldy said, AEW champ Hangman, TNT champ Sammy, women's champ Britt, tag champ Jurassic Express, all AEW originals. And Twitter is complaining about signing another WWE guy. Are they? I don't think Jeff was surprised at all, was it? So I would have thought everyone would have already had their say on that. Wrestler with Andy said Tony Storm would be a great addition. Yes, that would be good. Tony Storm. Yeah, I agree. Sammy has got Scorpio Sky. Forearm strikes being thrown in. Do you know who would suck but would be believable? It would suck. Nia Jax. She's got a big size to her. And if you actually didn't have her coming out to, I'm not like most girls, and you didn't, oh my God, that was brutal. Sammy just put himself through a table there. If you didn't have her coming out to that and coming out to something a bit more flipping, you know, like, imagine her coming out to, like, some metal music, some really, like, Aleister Black type stuff. Get her out of that stupid attire. Have her do something a bit darker. Did a bit of table go in his eye or something? Ty's come down, checking on Sammy. He's gone crashing through a table there, and the referees are saying get back. In this situation right now, the referees need to ask. The referees need to ask if he can continue or not. I don't understand. It was high risk. The doctor is checking Sammy. If Sammy can't continue, then that must be the end of the match to doctor stoppage. Give him the title. Give him the title, yeah. Dan Lambert, Ethan Page saying give him the title. You got to make a decision. That's not how it works. That would be how it works. You can... what? Title changes hands on stoppage, ref stoppage. If he's stupid enough to put himself through a table, he's took a high risk and it's not paid off for him and he can't continue the match, he would lose the title. It's not a DQ. It's true. And now, yeah. Look, even Scorpio's like he's being counted out as well. Oh, this is annoying. Can someone make a flipping decision? The crowd are counting. He can have one of the belts. Very good, Serge. They both go with one belt each. They're still on the outside. It's still like, Ty's come down. She's trying to help him. Ethan Page is waving. Dan Lambert shouting. He goes down to one knee. He's pointing to his ribs again. I mean, it was a hell of a spot. It was a hell of a spot. It must be a work. Oh, it strikes me as a work. He wants to go back. Sammy gets back into the ring. You don't have to do this. Yeah, but he'll lose the belt. I think there's some real confusion as to whether the belt would change hands there or not. He spits in the face of Scorpio Sky. It reminds me, didn't Big Show beat The Undertaker because he couldn't continue? There's a few examples of it here. The one I always think of is Kevin Owens and Sammy in NXT. Ref stoppage. You know, Sammy couldn't continue, and so the ref had to stop the match, and Kevin became the new NXT champion. Scorpio Sky says, I'll kiss him. He gave him a little kiss. What's with all this kissing? Paige Van Zant getting in the face of Ty Conti. Paige Van Zant at ringside. That was a bit poorly done, said Lister Jericho. It must have been in picture-in-picture. Right, Sammy is down. If it was count out, you don't lose the title, but a normal ref stoppage title can change hands. Backbreaker, nasty backbreaker as well by Scorpio Sky. Sammy is selling that, and Ty's at ringside shouting, trying to urge Sammy on. Okay, Sammy's back up to his feet. Way too much smooching. Scorpio in control. Backbreaker by Scorpio. 1, 2, kick out by Sammy. Pull back by Scorpio. I really want Scorpio to win this, to be honest. It wouldn't be great for like the booking. You know, Sammy's only just got it back, but I just think that what he's just been through and the fact that he, you know, couldn't continue and everything, for him to now come back and beat Scorpio. I feel like it should have gone too far, and It should have got to a point where he's, you know, for him to beat a fresh Scorpio. I don't know, man. It's not going to be a great look for Scorpio, is it? Roll up by Sammy. Kick out by Scorpio. Is that Sammy's groupie? Yes. Kisses for everyone. There has been a lot of kissing. We had kissing on the stream yesterday during the NXT one, didn't we? It's all kissing. It's all kissing is. It's all wrestling is now. It's kissing. Sammy goes up, bounces off the top rope, looks for a stunner and a 2 count. Shoulder up by Scorpio. He is a Spanish god. He should have some supernatural power, says Ponton. Why didn't she kick her in the face? She got interference. That would have been funny for her to do. Sammy picks up Scorpio. GTH. Sky gets dragged into the middle of the ring. Sammy going up top. Knees up, knees up, knees up by Scorpio. Dan Lambert, why is he providing a distraction? Ethan Page. Ty Conti pulls Ethan Page off the edge of the ring. Paige Van Zant from behind. Paige Van Zant hurling Ty Conti into some ring steps. Sammy Guevara's in a bit of trouble. Oh, gets planted. Scorpio Sky. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. Brilliant. Respect. Respect. Redemption. I wasn't a fan of how that was going, and the fact that he's actually pulled the trigger. Respect. Sammy put himself through a table, injured himself to the point where he couldn't continue, wanted to continue, felt like it was super obvious Sammy was going to win. Paige Van Zant's dealt with... yeah, it's good. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I've got no complaints with that whatsoever. Ty Conti is knocked out, left laying on top of Sammy. That's the contract. Look, she's Paige Van Zant signing the contract on top of Ty Conti. That's great. Sky wins. He's took both belts. We've got a new TNT champion. There we go. Very good. Very, very good. I enjoyed that Dynamite. Let's get some scores. What do you score AEW Dynamite? 8 to 10. 7 to 7, 7, 5, 6 to 6, 7, 5, 5, 7, 5 or below. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother waiting for the chat, to be honest. I think it's around about there for me. I think it's around about there. I mean, you've had Jeff Hardy come in. You've had a new TNT champion. We've had a really great Regal promo that I enjoyed. Hearing from Wardlow pushed that story along. The Jericho segment at the start I thought was really, really good as well. I thought that was very, very entertaining. The Thunder Rosa match, I think, was, again, a little bit botchy, and, that takes the score down. I think that Jurassic Express match was all right. There was some all right stuff in there, but by and large, I thought it was really, really enjoyable. Really, really enjoyable. I'd go 7, 7, 5, or 8, but I think the fact that they were brave enough to take that title off Sammy after he only just got it back, I've got a lot of respect for that. I think that took a bit of bravery to do that finish, because Sammy had only recently got it back from Cody. So, Cody beat Sammy for the title. Then Sammy got it back. Now he's lost it back again. And so, the title is going around a little bit back and forth. But I really like it. And I like the way they did it as well, with him putting himself through the table. It's been some really good, Jeff Hardy coming in is a big moment. Title changing hands is a big moment. The Regal promo, as I said, really enjoyed. The splitting up of the Inner Circle. I don't know that you can stack the shows as much as what you can. I mean, you can't do an AEW title match, which was a good match, an AEW title match, a mid-card title match, tag team title match, and, I have Regal doing a promo and Jeff Hardy coming in. This really feels like it's a special Dynamite. It really feels like there's a lot of stuff that's gone on this show, and you can't do this every week, but just enjoy it. Just enjoy it for the week that you got it. The result of most combats were the right ones. Better than Raw, but that is automatic. 8 says Legend Killer. 8 says J14. 5 says Zachary. 9 says J Swiss. We're best friends, like friends. Big hug, kiss from me to you. Days, you are amazing. Edward, shout out to you. Erasure Mind says 8. Joshua Ali says 6. Joel said it was a messy show, but still a good time. Love Scorpio winning. Brandon with a 7. Shaquem said 7 for me, not an 8. I needed a bit more. Brandon said 3. Ledge Killer says 8. William said the show was good. Trey Gaming said bye. I give it an 8 for tonight. I love Sammy. I had Dynamite at 25 out of 10, but now it's down to an 8. Tyler with a 9. Mo Money with an 8.5. Let him in with an 8. Joel said about an 8. Heather said an 8. Tahil says an 8. Brian Rosa just tweeted Britt Baker with a pathetic attempt at a promo. Well, listen, I love Brian Rosa, and I love Thunder Rosa. And, I wish them all the best, but just something does not seem right. I don't know what it is. Brian said 7.25. Capsman says 8. David said, I'd love to see Sammy get a world title match, which he loses, in the near future to give him a taste of the big time. BDB said we didn't get to see Punk tonight, and that's fine. You don't need to see him all the time. It's fine. I can't wait for the AEW video game, says Yakuza. Big Burn says 9. David says 8.5. Crazy Ginger Jake Holmes says 8.5. Blue Shirt says 8. Tahil says 8. We need a wrestling promotion that pits kids against parents. I would love that, says William. I'd love that as well. John said 9.3 sweethearts and kisses out of 10. Gotta go to bed. Good night. Jennifer, good night. Chris says CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. We're almost at 200 votes. Keep your votes coming in. We'll get to 200 and we'll wrap it up. Brenton said if MJF and Punk didn't speak, it would be 6, 7, 5 or a 7. 8.5, arguably the best Dynamite of the year in my opinion, says James. I would agree with that. 8.5, a little bit of filler, but overall a great show. seemed like a completely different show from the past few weeks. I got to think Regal had something to do with that. No Punk, no MJF, and it was still a really good show, says Brian. I like the fact there was no Punk and MJF. They deserve this week off after, bleeding like crazy in that dog collar match. Good night, end of days. R.I.P. Sammy Guevara, said Legend Killer. Johnny likes Austin Theory. Vape Ross Vape said non-wrestlers are a WWE thing. Let's not go there. 8. Yes, let's definitely not go there. Although I don't mind Paige Van Zandt because she is, ex-UFC. I think she is someone... The thing with MMA is it's mixed martial arts, so you've got to be good at wrestling, striking. I mean, you don't have to, but you ain't going to get very far if you're not. And, she isn't someone that's just come out of, One or, Cage Warriors or wherever. Like, she's managed to get to the biggest promotion in the world and, have a fair few matches as well. So Paige Van Zandt is definitely someone that... She was never the greatest female fighter. Like, she was never a champion or anything, or close to being a champion. She was always like, if you had Paige Van Zandt, you were pretty much guaranteed a win. In fact, let's just have a look at her record in UFC. But she still has reached that level, so I do not mind Paige Van Zandt competing in AEW at all. Certainly in this women's division as well. She is 27 years old. Her MMA record is 8 wins and 5 losses. She had 4 fights professionally before she joined UFC. She then went on a 3-fight win streak in won 1 in 2014, 2 in 2015. She then lost to Thug Rose. Who wouldn't? She then beat Beck Rawlings, but then she lost to Michelle Waterson and she lost to Jessica Rose Clark. She did manage to get a win in 2019 against Rachel Ostovich, but Ostovich was not a great fighter either. And then she lost her final fight that she left on was in 2020, UFC 251. She lost to Amanda Hebus by submission in round 1. 2 minutes 21 in round 1. She lost by submission. So her record in UFC is 5 wins and 4 losses, which you've got to say. I mean, granted, 3 of those came in 2015, though. 3 of them came in, she's lost since the end of 2015. She's lost 4, 1, 2 in UFC. But, you've just got to say, fair play. She lost to Tisha Torres in Invicta. But yeah, she was someone that, you would kind of fancy your chances against. But either way, I think she's a good signing for this women's division. I think she's a good signing. Big Boy Daddy said it was a Mert Dynamite. I'm going to go with a 6. I'm sure Paige Van Zandt is the OnlyFans champion. Raw 7, NXT 9, AEW 9, says Zoom Station. What do you think they can do to get more eyes on Rampage? Well, you need to build some up on Dynamite. I mean, right now, as we're sat here, the only thing I'm aware of on Rampage is Mercedes Martinez against Jamie Hayter, which, I'm sorry, is not good enough to get me to get excited for that show because it has no repercussions. It doesn't mean anything. So you need to build up to a big match that's not actually the main event, but you build it up for Rampage, and then on Rampage get the big match. So that would be a starting point. But we've just finished Dynamite, and to my knowledge, I don't even know what the big matches are. I also think that it needs to be live. It needs to be a case that they do a show on a Friday night live. Anything can happen. You use Dynamite to build up to it. if you buy tickets to go to Rampage, you get an hour's show that isn't shown on TV, and then the hour that is. So you see 2 hours if you go to Dynamite, but you still get 2 hours if you go to the show. It's just only one of the Rampage hours is shown on TV. Do it live and, yeah, like, make it significant. Make it another Dynamite. Really make it an hour's Dynamite just on a Friday night where stories progress and you need to watch it. I think that, you know, those kind of things would help. But they've done a little bit of that in the past. Obviously, wasn't it Dynamite that CM Punk made his debut on? So they have made it significant in the past. But we've watched all the Dynamites, all the Rampages, sorry, and they do feel very missable. They do feel very missable at times. So something that can be fixed. They just need to fix it. Right, let's end poll. And there we go. 62%. So only 10% of people thought this was 675 or below. 88% of people thought it was 7 or above. 62% of people thought this was an 8 to 10. Seems like majority of people enjoyed it. And I can totally see why. I think, you know, even though it was super obvious, Jeff Hardy is all elite. That's big. Hearing Regal talk, that's more I've heard from Regal in I don't know how long. William Regal, do you know what I mean? Like, just never got a chance to talk actually all that much. He'd do a little thing backstage in NXT, but it was rare that we would get something of like that. You know, it was brilliant hearing from Regal. That definitely influenced my score. I really enjoyed that. Jeff Hardy is in, and the possibilities of like Jeff is massive. New TNT champion. I thought the way it was done was a bit annoying. Like, I really feel if someone's injured, you need to make a call as to whether they can continue or not. So stretching it out and whatever. But I believe you guys were at commercial break again. You know, it's another one of those examples of the commercial break maybe getting in the way. For me, we're just sat there with doctors, like, just not really doing anything. But I think it was because you lot were at commercial break. Either way, you know, from start to finish, I thought this show had a great energy, a great pace, fast pace. 3 championship matches. Jeff Hardy comes in. There's a lot here, man. There's a lot. So I hope you enjoyed it. Well done to AEW. I'm going to go off and grab something to eat. And, yeah, as I said, you know, really appreciate the support. So thanks a lot for watching. We're back again tomorrow on the Football Days channel. We've got a couple of football games coming up. We got West Ham in action against Sevilla in the Europa League. We've also got Leeds against Aston Villa, which is going to be a lot of fun for anyone that's playing the fantasy game. We've got that tomorrow afterwards as well. So 2 games tomorrow on the Football Days channel. I don't think there's anything on this channel. I've got like loads of stuff I'm doing tomorrow, so it's a busy day for me tomorrow, but we do have 2 football streams. So and then of course we're back on Friday with SmackDown. So awesome, guys, appreciate the support. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.